Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030. Also, Viksit Bharat at 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start today's celebrations and commemorations, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today is commemorated as World Day of Fight Against Sexual Exploitation internationally, which is celebrated every year on March 4th. This day's primary goal is to unite the world to take stand against all forms of sexual exploitation. 1 in 10 children is sexually abused before their 18th birthday. Sexual exploitation ruins the family of many people, including men and women and children across the world. And this is why it is crucial to spread awareness and fight against the vice. Every effort counts, and the first step is to lift the lid on silence, which creates an atmosphere that allows sexual exploitation to thrive. Sex trafficking and human trafficking is a filthy and treacherous multi-billion-dollar business that has been going on in this world for many years. According to UNICEF, more than 3 million children worldwide are affected by prostitution, and nearly 1 million people are sexually exploited every year. This not only includes young girls and women, but also young boys and men. Millions of people travel abroad for sex tourism to have sex with young children. This has been increased child prostitution all across the world. It is estimated that every second of the day, an average of 8 people are trapped in international criminal networks for sexual exploitation, trafficking, and enslavement. And this is what World Day of Fight Against Sexual Exploitation aims to eliminate. Sexual exploitation is one of the worst treatments any human can receive, as it robs one of the basic human rights, the right to freedom, dignity, and even the right to control their own body. This problem is ubiquitous, but prevalent in Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America, and Caribbean countries, apart from across the world. The people who are trafficked from these countries are taken to developed countries for prostitution. The saddest part about this is that most sexually abused children keep the abuse a secret, mainly because they have no one to turn up to for their help. And even when they do tell, they are oftentimes not believed, and they end up at a greater risk of emotional, psychological, and social and physical problems. So they opt to remain silent, which further perpetuates the problem. The first World Day of Fight Against Sexual Exploitation is observed as a global movement. In 2009, the UN General Assembly designates July 30 as the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons in 2030. The world adopts the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda and embraces goals set to put an end to the human trafficking. In 2015, the Sustainable Development Agenda. The government tightens their grip across the world against sexual exploitation since 2020. So there are many ways in which we can fight sexual violence. You can start by respecting a person's right to say no to sexual activity. The three stages of sexual exploitation are recruitment, control, and exploitation. Unhealthy sexual behavior, sharp changes in mood, physical signs of abuse, and being secretive are some of the signs of sexual exploitation. These indications help us to identify sexual exploited victim. So be responsible citizen and refuse to be complicit by keeping quiet. Report any illegal activities you witness in your locality. Use your social media handles and other platforms to spread awareness. Be sure to give accurate facts in order to stop the evil of sexual exploitation and trafficking. If you or someone you know was a victim of sexual exploitation in the past, you can share your experiences. Be sure to advise people about how to stay safe. About 80% of the sexual abuse survivors report excessive drug and alcohol abuse. It ruins many lives. Young girls who are sexually abused are more likely to develop eating disorders. About 40% of victims are abused by a family member they know. The devil is within the family. Unfortunately, many child victims never disclose their abuse and they continue to suffer. Silence only perpetuates the vice. 1 in 5 children is solicited sexually on the internet, and the internet has it made much more easier. It is a much needed day. This international criminal industry can only be curbed with combined effort of all the people across the world. So there is a much needed day, that is World Day of Fight Against Sexual Exploitation, is important. Although most recurring victims are perfectly capable of surviving on their own, they are subject to a lot of cruelty and emotional trauma, and we can be their voice and help them. There are ways that we can take a stand and part of the solution. This includes participating in the special events held on the World Day of Fight Against Sexual Exploitation and donating to the NGOs that support the cause. Today is also commemorated as World Obesity Day. Obesity is an epidemic in the United States, and this condition puts people at a higher risk for serious diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. World Obesity Day, observed annually on March, highlights the environmental and medical factors that contribute to high obesity rates. The day also focuses on what we can all do to end the stigma. The US has the highest obesity rates among all the nations of the world. As per 2012 status, US obesity rate stood at 13% as opposed to the nearly 40%, with lowering rates in 1962. Indian surgeon Sushruta becomes the first to link obesity with diabetes and heart disease around 550 BC. So the CDC and other public health organizations, including the World Obesity Foundation, offer the latest research on obesity, get a better understanding of the challenges, get educated, examine your views of people with obesity and learn to be more accepting. Call out abuse or discrimination when you see it and get a perspective. If your pants are feeling a little tighter, hit the gym or adopt a daily exercise routine. Change your diet, talk to your doctor about steps you can take to avoid overweight. Get fit. Eat 5 or 6 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Cut processed foods out of your diet and eat whole grain foods. Exercise for 30 minutes a day. Keep track of calories you burn versus your calorie intake. Balance it out. Obesity can cause serious illness. Women with obesity have a higher chance of getting breast cancer, and the research shows obesity causes nearly 3 lakh deaths in the US each year. Obesity rates are steadily rising. Nearly 40% of the Americans over the age of 20 are considered to be obese. Healthcare costs total $300 billion. It is stigmatizing. Lot of us believe that obesity stems from laziness. Potential employers often discriminate against overweight people. Obese children face bullying. Today is also commemorated as International Scrapbooking Industry Day, which is held on March 4th every year, and we are set to celebrate in the best way possible by traveling down memory lane in the pages of our scrapbooks and filling them with new memories once again. Happy memories are powerful and can help with fighting depression and loneliness. This is why scrapbooks and by default, International Scrapbooking Industry Day are important to us. Memories are an important feature of human existence. They help shape identity, perception, relationships, personal development, and growth. Events, places, objects, names, abstract emotions, and more all can trigger these memories at different times, bringing unique reactions. It is then not surprising that psychologists have discovered that happy memories can help fight against depression and loneliness and realign one back on track towards hopes of achievements of the goals one had set in the past or future. The history of scrapbooking can be traced to an existing of commonplace books in the first century AD. Commonplace books bears a lot of similarities to scrapbooks in that they contain scribblings and writings of the owner, such as poems, proverbs, Bible verses, axioms, notes, recipes, formulas, weights, and more. The difference between two was mainly that commonplace books were kept by scholars, students, writers, and readers to keep up with academic work, while scrapbooks can be owned by anyone. Gaining prominence in 1990s, scrapbooking grew among college women who used it to record their lives and as memorabilia. And from there, it became a fun of preserving memories for everyone. Male, female, young, and adult, from pictures of trips, first love letters, a first plane ticket, to a choice holiday, pieces of poetry, pictures with friends and families of goofy, happy moments, artworks, pressed flowers, and more. Scrapbooks carry a wealth of cherished emotions. So, what better time do you have these days to throw yourself back into happy memories of the past? Unearth your scrapbooks from whatever they may be and lose yourself in a time travel to those cherished memories you have pasted on the pages. So you don't have a scrapbook, then you are missing out on the fun. It's never too late to start. Step out on the nearest store or get yourself a scrapbook and start pasting. Or you can even order one online. Or even nowadays, we have online scrapbooks which can be shared with your friends online so that they can fill it up even now if you couldn't have any opportunity to get your scrapbook filled by them earlier. There are several communities on hosting scrapbook clubs where people come together to make memories together. If there is none in your area, then you can get your friends around and create one, making it more fun. Only the wealthy owned scrapbooks at first. It was exclusive to the elite with money to take pictures and preserve them. So a great way to keep memories is keep accurate records of events such as your first meet or so on, or first date or first event or so on. So Mark Twain made a fortune from it. He made around $1 lakh from the sale of his self-pasting scrap. Keep scrapbooks in shade as light can damage or fade pictures or text. So going through the pages of your scrapbooks takes back to the years past. These pictures of childhood events, hangouts, trips, letters, and envelopes all remind you how great those years were. Scrapbooks help you to see the visibility, how far you have grown and changed, and how much progress you have made. It also helps put you on track for future achievements. International scrapbooking industry is another day to catch fun with family and friends. You get to sit around the table with them going through the pages of the scrapbooks and having good laugh at the memories within them. Today is also commemorated as International GM Day, which is celebrated on March 4th to honor and praise the incredible diligence and impartial rulings of a game master. The day falls on the death anniversary of Gary Gygax, designer and co-creator of Dungeons and Dragons. This super fun observation is contribution of Spunkrat, a long-time gaming enthusiast who dedicated an entire day to game masters in 2002. The spirit of camaraderie and festival swells throughout the gaming community as gamers come together to appreciate the game masters all around them. A game master is the main organizer of a game who oversees the players and maintains the decorum of the game. Moderator, referee, consultant, and confidant, a game master assumes many roles and plays and keeps the game fair, interesting, and challenging. Every player is dependent upon the game master for a chance at fair play. Winners are celebrated and losers are consoled, yet one hardly pays an attention to game masters. In 2002, gaming enthusiast Pankrat decided to challenge the norms by dedicating an entire day to the game masters. From classic board games to high functioning Twitch streams, a game master is an essential part of the game. And the job isn't so easy after all. A game master must possess complete knowledge of the proceedings of the game. Rules must roll off his or her tongue like elementary grade poem. International GM's Day uplifts the game masters across the world. The celebration is backed by leading gaming outlets, including Creative Mountain Games and Ian World. The day coincidentally falls on death anniversary of the Dungeons and Dragons co-creator Gary Gygax, whose sudden passing sent shockwaves across the gaming community. The day is observed with zeal across the world, with players professing sincere respect and admiration for their game masters. Leading publishers utilize this day to launch special one-day discounts and schemes to rope in more people into the industry. Today is also commemorated as March 4th in US, which is an annual unofficial day celebrated on March 4th to encourage everyone to work towards achieving their dreams. It aims to provide an opportunity for the people to take calculated risks towards achieving their goals and developing themselves. It is a special day to take a stand against procrastination or false reasons that tend to creep your heads and discourage us from everything. The name was made up as a homophone of the day March 4th. It is also a shortened version of the full name, March 4th and Do Something Day. There is also commemorated as National Backcountry Ski Day in US. If you love the snow skiing and a more rugged than usual terrain to ski on, the National Backcountry Ski Day on March 4th is the day for you. Backcountry skiing, which is simply skiing or more rugged, ungroomed, and natural ground than average ski resort trail, is becoming more and more popular in the US. It's enough demand that multiple states provide people with various backcountry ski trails, either attached to resorts or inside national park boundaries or in another appropriate location. So anyone with a hankering or jump on their skis and take a turn down a backcountry trail has a lot of choices on their hands. Today is also commemorated as National Dance the Waltz Day. which is celebrated on March 4th every year. This waltz is one of the most widely known dances in the field of ballroom dance. It is usually danced by a man and woman facing and holding each other in a close position. It is usually danced at state dinners, weddings, and other formal occasions. The Viennese waltz, as opposed to the slow waltz, refers to the faster renditions of the waltz. Johann Strauss composed the most well-known waltz music with his son. Let's waltz together to commemorate the occasion. Today is also commemorated as National Grammar Day in US. We let our inner nerd out of National Grammar Day. The day was established in 2008 by Martha Brockenbrough, the founder of the Society for the Promotion of Good Grammar. The day's motto is, it's not only a date, it's an imperative, March 4th or March 4th, to speak well, write well, and help others do the same. We take the imperative seriously, so this National Grammar Day, we are celebrating the idiosyncrasies of the English language by studying up on grammar, common grammar mistakes, proofreading our correspondence, and thanking our editors. Newspapers and magazines go several rounds of copy edits, but mistakes nearly always makes it through. So celebrate National Grammar Day by acknowledging that no one is perfect with grammar, even the professionals. Read through your favorite magazine or newspaper with your grammar antenna on and your red pen at the ready to catch any mistakes. And what to do when you find one? Nothing beyond a big red circle and a smile. Grammar helps us to be totally clear when sharing our thoughts. It's the difference between inviting your mom to eat and let's eat mom, and eating your mom, let's eat mom. It's the difference between enjoying cooking and also enjoying your pets. Enjoying cooking, my cat and my dog, and cooking your pets. I enjoy cooking my cat and dog. See the difference of grammar. Proofreading feels great. Finding a typo, misspelled word, or misused there, or there, they are, is incredibly satisfying. One might even call it a day making, whether you are reading your own work, taking a red pen to a friend's cover letter, or searching for an errant comma in the New York Times. Knowing the rules of grammar and using them in everyday life scratches an itch that makes you feel great. Today is also commemorated as National Safety Day in India, which is observed every year on March 4th with the purpose of generating awareness and commitment to working safely. This day was initiated by the National Safety Council to increase the awareness of all the guidelines of safety measures, including road safety, workplace safety, the safety of human health, as well as environment. The holiday is also aimed at renewing the commitment of employees and the general public to work safely throughout the year. Ultimately, the day wants to shine the light of safety protocols and measures that need to be adhered to avoid any type of workplace accidents. The National Safety Day is celebrated every year by the National Safety Council of India to raise awareness and commitment to the safety protocols and measures that need to be followed to avoid workplace mishaps. The ultimate objective of the holiday is to commit employees and the general public to work safely by adhering to all safety guidelines. The National Safety Council is a non-profit body that has been set up to aid in generating, developing, and sustaining any national level of voluntary gesture of health, safety, and development. These actions of the Council have been successful ever since the initiation of this day in 1972, set in less than a decade after its establishment. National Safety Day was first observed on the foundation day of the National Safety Council in 1972. The day was set up by the Ministry of Labor and Employment on March 1965 to develop and bring into practice a voluntary routine on safety, health, and environment. This year, 2021, marks the 50th observance of the National Safety Day. So National Safety Day is observed every year in India on March 4th to generate awareness and commitment to working safely. It is aimed at renewing the commitment of employees and general public to work safely throughout the year. National Safety Day was first celebrated in 1970. National Safety Day was first celebrated in 1972, almost half a decade after the founding of National Safety Council, which is the premier non-profit body concerned with safety, health, and environment in India in 1966. So commit yourself and your employees to work safely by taking the Safety Health Pledge by the National Safety Council. National Safety Day aims to renew the commitment of employees and the general public to work safely, and by taking the pledge, you are observing the day. Another way to observe the holiday is to write about the unique ways you think you can adapt to commitment and get better at working safely. Joins safety competitions too, essays, slogans, and posters, housekeeping, and even safety performance. You could also. Another way is to observe the day is to write about unique ways you can think we can adapt to commitment and get better at working safely. Join safety competitions too, essays, slogans, posters, housekeeping, and even safety performance. You could also pin yourself with the custom National Safety Council flag. Help others commit to safely working by sharing your story online. Safe. Each year, the National Safety Day is given a theme to highlight the direction of public work safety. The holiday will focus on. National Safety Day is aimed at renewing the commitment of employees and the general public to work safely throughout the year. The National Safety Council was established to make safety training more accessible to all. Therefore, it's a non-profit organization. The National Safety Council has launched National Safety Day. National Safety Day is important to maintain proper workforce welfare, developing a proactive attitude towards safety and creating procedures for identifying workplace hazards and reducing accidents and exposure to harmful situations and substances is key to every employee's workplace satisfaction to improve workers' welfare. Helping to highlight the impact and growth of National Safety Council is an important part of the National Safety Day, the premier non-profit self-financing and tri-party apex body concerned with safety, health, and environment in India, was founded in 1966, 5 years before founding of this day. The act of committing to working safety is a good precedent to the future Indian workforce. Safety should be priority over everything else, and no worker should be forced to have choose between not working safely. Today is also commemorated as National Sportsmanship Day in US, which is celebrated on first Tuesday of March every year. This day has been celebrated since 1991. The International Sports Institute first established National Sportsmanship Day in order to promote good sportsmanship around the country and to set high standards for future generations of athletes. The objective of this day is to tell people about the importance of sportsmanship. It encourages fair play, good etiquette, and good character. The day is to remind athletes and sports fans alike that being good at a sport isn't the only important quality of an athlete. Showing good sportsmanship is equally important. Today is also commemorated as National Town Meeting Day in US. A community-driven event that takes place every year on the first Tuesday of March is one of the favorite government and state-related national days to observe. This year it falls on March 4th. We appreciate how town meetings can bring communities together, inspire groups of people to overcome challenges and biases and come to conclusions and resolutions that concern the whole community. The first town meetings took place in Vermont, in New England, US. Town meetings, a type of direct democracy in which community members gather to legislate policy and budgets, have been held in Vermont since 1762. These meetings were so important to the state history in the Vermont Republic was not formed until 15 years later, and statehood was not granted until 1790. Today is also commemorated as Old Inauguration Day in US, is an annual event that occurs on March 4th to commemorate events that ushered in a newly constitution defined inaugural date for president-elect and newly elected senators. The change to the constitution, it celebrates the 20th amendment, moved the beginning and ending of the terms of the president and vice president from 4th to January 20 and of members of Congress from March 4th to January 3. The passage of the 20th Amendment in 1933 also included provisions for what could be done when there is no president elect. Today is also commemorated as Toy Soldier Day in US, which is an annual event that occurs on March 4th to celebrate the day that toy soldiers unite. Originally, the fan club of Dr. Steele, a Los Angeles-based music and street performance artist, was founded in 2006. This day is intended to unite fans of various role-playing activities as opposed to collecting or displaying past plastic toy soldiers, although Toy Soldier Day is not as famous as Christmas or Halloween. Numerous fans of Dr. Steele celebrate the day every year. Today is also commemorated as Unique Names Day in US on first Tuesday of the first full week of March. This day is dedicated to those with unique or rare names. It is also for those people with names that are hard to pronounce and where people usually ask them how to pronounce their names. Today we are also commemorating Hug a GI Day in US. It's only appropriate that this be the day that we celebrate servicemen and servicewomen in our lives with National GI Day. Soldiers in the US military, including members of the Army, Air Forces, and Marines, have been referred to as GIs since 1940. Today is also commemorated as HPV Awareness Day. which is observed annually on March 4th. It was established to help spread awareness about HPV and educate people about vaccines and other preventable measures. It allows people to better understand the dangers, signs, and symptoms of HPV. The virus is known to be a major cause of cervical cancer. The virus has been known to also cause some types of skin and muscle cancers. According to International Papilloma Virus Society, the disease affects over 7 lakh people every year. The goal is to help everyone across the globe to learn more about HPV and take actionable steps towards stopping the spread of the virus. HPV is a common virus that is dangerous. It is also not known to cause different types of cancer, including cervical cancer, skin cancer, and throat cancer. HPV is transmitted through the direct contact with an infected person. Infection is asymptomatic in most cases, and the virus can be eliminated by the immune system before it develops a pathogenic effect. It can also lead to a persistent viral disease that can manifest in different ways. It can lead to cancer, lesions of skin and mucous membranes, genital cancers such as cancer of cervix, vagina, vulva, anus, and penis can occur when the immune system fails to quickly eliminate the virus from the body. Well-established protection tools such as primary prevention measures, vaccination, and secondary prevention measures screening can be used to prevent HPV-related cancers. Today is also commemorated as Holy Experiment Day in US to encourage general tolerance towards religious practices different from ours. The importance of the story of the day commemorates is also the precedence of the core beliefs and establishment of Pennsylvania. And ultimately, the United States was based on religious tolerance, diversity, and representative government. William Penn Jr., son of English Admiral Sir William Penn, played an important role in the creation of the colony. He envisioned a colony full of people who embraced faith and were tolerant to the religion of others, influenced by his early experience in England, where members of Quaker sect were chastised for their beliefs. Today is also commemorated as Global Day of the Engineer, which takes place annually on March 4th. The celebrations are jointly sponsored by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, and the World Federation of Engineering Organizations to acknowledge the achievements of engineers and their contributions to construction and building infrastructure. There's also an added focus on engineering and how to get future generations interested in it. Today, Global Day of Engineers goals also include sustainable development, and it comes as a source of inspiration of many inspiring engineers. Today is also commemorated as the Ecuador Carnival in Ecuador, which is a popular event also known as Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday in the US, which takes place on the last Tuesday before the Lent in February or early March. This year it takes place on March 4th. This day has religious origins and traditions. It is considered to be a Christian holiday to indulge in life. It occurs just before the season of Lent. It serves as a remembrance of the suffering of Jesus on the cross. There are unique traditions that mingle indigenous celebrations with the Catholic roots of Carnival. The traditions differ in some towns, especially the ones with large indigenous populations. The Ecuador Carnival celebrations are part of indigenous beliefs and practices in Corand. Today is also commemorated as Courageous Follower Day in US, which is observed on March 4th every year to shed light on the virtue of followership brought into under after Iraq Chalif groundbreaking book on leadership, The Courageous Followers Standing Up to and for Our Leaders. The holiday encourages all of us to become responsible followers. The book has become a source of debate about multifaceted aspects of leadership since its publication in 1995. A learned and organized follower is an asset to any leader. On Courageous Follower Day, we teach the idea of rugged individualism and propagate the ethos of genuine followership. Today is also commemorated as Brain Injury Awareness Day in US. Since head injuries are so common across the US and the world, educating the public about the significant concern is essential. The purpose of Brain Injury Awareness Day, held on annually on March 4th, brain injuries can lead to long-term changes for the affected person and their loved ones and present challenges to their everyday existence. Brain Injury Awareness Day is crucial and is part of a wider campaign observed in the same month as Brain Injury Awareness Week and Brain Injury Awareness Month. There is also commemorated as Benjamin Harrison Day, which is an annual event that occurs on March 4 to commemorate the 23rd President of the United States. Benjamin Harrison was the grandson of 9th President of the United States, William Henry Harrison, and a great-grandson of Benjamin Harrison. 5, one of the founding fathers who signed the United States Declaration of Independence. A long-time protectionist, Harrison is infamous for his signing of the McKinley Tariff Act of 1890 that pushed federal spending to $1 billion for the first time during peacetime. Today is also commemorated as National Salt Awareness Week from March 4th to 11th in UK. Salt is arguably the most common and essential seasoning in the world. It is even referred to as taste or flavor of life. But like most things, too much or too little of this fine seasoning can make you sick. This is why it is important to monitor your salt intake and adjust it accordingly. You will be amazed at how many health problems you could avoid by sticking to the recommended day salt intake. Today is also commemorated as National Endometriosis Awareness Week from March 4th to 10th in the US. This day helps to raise awareness about the condition that can be hidden and often unrecognized. Endometriosis is a disease that affects women when tissue similar to the lining of the womb grows on the outer part of the uterus instead of inside it. So National Endometriosis Awareness Week helps to spread information about endometriosis as a debilitating and disabling disease. It recognizes the consequences of living with endometriosis of the patient, care provider, and all those affected by disease. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. See you all tomorrow at the same time. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of votes. And as you all know, there is an event coming up on International Women's Day, that is on Saturday and Sunday, 2 days on 8th and 9th. And this coming up is a social work month. In this month, we have social work conference as well, where there are free opportunity for free presentations, free participation, free collaborations, free nominations for awards, and free publications for the select presentations. So we request everyone to utilize this opportunity. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.